tonight I just want to not quick, it's probably going to take 15 minutes, but I want to go over a surface area and volume word problem. I just want to show you how surface area and volume can be asked all in one question on the New York State exam. So the objective would be I can solve real world and mathematical problems involving surface area and volume. And the example for tonight is going to involve these fish tanks, tank R and tank T. It says 2 fish tanks are shown below. One is in the shape of a right rectangular prism, and one is in the shape of a right trapezoidal prism, R and T. Which tank holds more water? Show work. So this is asking volume. If they're asking how much water it will be held. But you have to understand on the state test, they might not say volume. They might say which one holds more water. So if we look at this and we look at tank R, I'm going to find the volume of tank R. We're going to take the area of the base times the height of the prism. Okay, area of the base times the height of the prism. I could call this my base. So I can find the area of my base. Area of my base will be 25 times 10 times the height of my prism is 15. 25 times 10 is 250 times 15. What's 250 times 15? 250 times 15, 3,750. So this first tank holds 3,750 cubic inches of water. So now let's find for tank R. The volume of tank R would be given by the area of the base. Ooh, not babe, but base. Area of the base times the height. Okay, well the base happens to be a trapezoid. So we'll take the area of the base and once we find the area of that base, we'll just multiply that by the height of the prism. The height of your prism is 15 inches, so I'll go ahead and write that in. For the area of the base, I'm going to break this up into 2 triangles and a rectangle. If I slide this up, this is 25. These are each 6. And the height of each is 8. So for the area of our base, I have to do the 2 triangles added together with the rectangle. So it will be 1/2 times 6 times 8, base times height, 6 times 8. And how many of those triangles are there? So it's 1/2 times 6 times 8 for the area of that triangle. But there's 2 matching triangles, so I'll multiply that by 2. Then I'll add to that the area of my rectangle here, and my rectangle is 25 by 8. This length right here, this 10 doesn't get involved at all. That must be a slant length, and we don't need to know the slant length. Okay, so 25 times 8 would be for the rectangular part. Then we have those 2 triangles. We'll add that together and then multiply by 15. So here, 6 times 8 is 48. 1/2 times 2 is just 1. So this is 48 plus 25 times 8, I believe is 200, hopefully, times 15. So this would be 248 times 15. So this is going to be able to hold just a little less water. 248 times 15 would be 3,720 cubic inches of water. So this tank holds more water than this one, just a little more water. They might ask you how much more on a state test. If they asked how much more water, so which one holds more water? Tank R, because it has a higher volume. Then if we want to know if they had asked how much more, you would take your 3,750 cubic inches and you'd subtract off your 3,720 cubic inches, and you'd say, oh, it holds an extra, 30 cubic inches of water. The next part of the problem on that test asked about surface area of these. So then it says, which tank has the most surface area? Assume both tanks include a lid that covers entirely. So now we have to find the surface area of each of these. Okay, great. So for the surface area of my tank R, I'll need to find my area of the front. That'll match the area of the back. Okay, we have to find the area of the side, the area of one of the side faces, the area of the other side face. Those will match. We'll have to find the area of the top face and the area of the bottom face. This is for our rectangular prism. We'll just have to add all those areas up to find our surface area. So for the front face, area of the front face is 25 by 15. 25 times 15. Area of the back, therefore, will also be 25 times 15. Area of this side face is 10 by 15. So that'll be 10 by 15. So the other side will also be 10 by 15. Area of the top and the bottom. Let me outline the bottom. The dimensions on the bottom are 25 by 10, as I shade in that bottom, 10 by 25. So the area of the top and bottom is 25 times 10. All right, there we go. 25 times 15, what is that? 25 times 15 is 375, it looks like. Plus 375 plus 150 plus 150 plus 25 times 10 would be 250 plus 250, and we're going to just add those all up. 375 plus 375 plus 150 plus 150 plus 250 plus 250, as long as I haven't made a mistake. 1550. As long as I didn't make any sort of a mistake. So the surface area of tank R is 1,550 inches squared, square inches for area. So now we'll find for tank T, we'll have to find the area of the top, the area of the bottom, the area of the front, the area of the back, the area of the side face, and the area of the other side face. Okay, for the top and bottom, that's our trapezoid there, and we found that area. This was 25 by 8. We found that area by taking the area of the triangles and adding that to the area of the rectangle. I could look back on the other slide, but I can't remember what it was. So 1/2 times 6 times 8 for my triangle. There's 2 of those, plus, and then 25 times 8 for that rectangle. And the bottom will match that, so I'm going to quick figure that out. So that was 48 plus 200, so we found 248. So that would be for the top, which means for the bottom it would also be 248. The front is this beautiful rectangle here. The height of this rectangle is 15. The base is 25. So that's 25 times 15. The back must also be 25 times 15. So we know each of those is 375. 375. Then we have to figure out the area of each side. So on the sides here, it's 10 by 15. That's why they had to give us that 10 dimension, because they need it for the surface area. So 10 by 15 for those side faces. 10 times 15, 10 times 15. Each of those is 150. And now we'll add those up. 248 plus 248 plus 375 plus 375 plus 150 plus 150. 1546. So the surface area of tank R or I'm sorry, tank T, the surface area of tank T would be 1546 square inches for surface area. And they could always ask how much more material is needed for tank R. So you would just subtract those two and you'd see you'd need an extra 4 square inches of material to make it. So that could be how they could ask about surface area and volume all in one big problem on that state test. All right, hopefully that is a quick wrap up of surface area and volume of figures. We'll be taking the test soon.